to see the place open up, and the lady, she was with us last week. We previewed it. She made it happen, and I can only imagine the emotions that she felt. On the hotline is our friend Gina Schild-Knowles. Gina, how you doing, friend?
I'm good. How are you, Rodney? Hi, Bobby.
We're good. We're good. How are you coming off of that?
I'm exhausted. Really, it's I've forgotten how hard the first race is when when all of the unsureties are there.
Yeah.
So
no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
But I'm happy. I'm happy about it. When things are really challenging and you're constantly dealing with it, and you're in the trenches and you're in the thick of it on race day, you don't take it in and appreciate it. And that's a hard thing to do when these little things are hitting you and you're putting fires out and you're spreading yourself thin. But man, the outpouring from everyone has been fantastic. The messages. So I'm very happy. I'm very appreciative, and I'm ready to knock out another one.
I heard that. Sorry, Bobby. Go ahead.
So Gina, you get the chance here in a couple of weeks to knock out another one. But all in all, it seemed like everybody was supportive and buying into the vision that you had for Mobile, and we've talked about that before.
This time by it'll be 20.
Oh, sorry, y'all.
Yeah,
got some video.
Oh, that sounded good. Yes. The racers are on board. It's a bit different than what they're normally used to. It's when we did the town hall with them over there. And ask them questions. The pure stock guys and some of the guys pay for a pit pass and they race. And that was it. And they got free transponders, and that was it. And that freaked me out a little bit, because we don't race like that here. And actually, I don't remember racing like that, but I get it. I definitely get it for sure. And what you have to do is, you just have to be honest with them and say, look, this place seats 8,500 people. And there was a time and day where that was full. And as a promoter, if my stands are full and things are rocking and rolling, heck yeah, that's going to 100% trickle down to the racers. I would definitely, that's how I would do my back gate. That's a good promoter that did that. We're just not there right now. And if we don't do it smart now, we won't be able to grow it, and we won't be able to stick around. It won't last. It's just in a totally different place than it was. And I'm not saying it can't be back there. I'm just saying we've got to lay the path to go back there, and we have to do it together. I can't do it without the racers. I absolutely, positively cannot do it. We have a great team. And we've got to kind of be smart about everything,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Gina, I think so much of it was, because I was so amazed with the place. Because you allowed people in, you could come in, you could buy a pit pass, you go in there. I could not believe the line would not stop. What are you thinking? And listening to all the radio chatter, it's like, I got 8 more cars out here. Can we get them in here in a safe manner? How did that make you feel?
Stressed, but excited over the excitement of fans to come see racing again. It really was a good feeling, but it was super stressful that, what is the track going to do? What I mean is we didn't really know what to invest in. We didn't know what the track would do when it was put under pressure. And what I mean by that is the bathroom. Mm-hmm. We didn't know, we don't have a history or knowledge of that, of what if the, septic system was going to, make it through under pressure. We didn't know about the concession stand. That was one of our bad places, the concession stand stuff. We had some challenges there. We had some challenges in the bathroom. You don't know that until you put stress on the system. And that was what stressed me about having fans there is I didn't want to present the track in a poor light and upset people that are local. I wanted to try to do the best we could And I feel like we did that. And I feel like the racing was really good.
Yeah, I agree totally.
So Gina, so what's the next step now? You've got one race in your belt over there at Mobile. You've had a chance to evaluate. Obviously, we wanted you to take a day or two to catch your breath, which it sounds like you're trying to do, even though it's hard for you to step away from anything dealing with racing. So how's the next step go? Is it something that you get with Bo about? Is it something that you get with your little inside team that you got? I mean, what's the next step to work for race number 2?
Just have to look at what we were challenged with. What are we going to do to make another step closer to our goals that we have set in 2022? And you just have to look at it on paper and decide here's what all we have to improve on. Which ones are we going to focus on this next go round? And, I don't know. There's not a roadmap, and you don't know if the choices you're making are smart because you've never been here. All you can do is do whatever it is you're doing, whatever choice you make and what you decide you think needs to be done, or whatever that it's done to the best of your ability. And all of it really, I'm the one that gets tagged on Facebook and thanked. And man, it's so many, it's all of us. There's all of us working, doing it together, and the racers included.
Yeah.
So as long as we keep growing and moving forward, when we face challenges, we address them. We just have to keep the wheel, turning, just like we did at Houston, and just like what we're trying to do. MIS is in kind of the same predicament that Houston was. We just got to get the wheel going in a positive direction.
Yeah. It really seems like from everyone that I talked to, whether it be throughout the night or afterwards, or hell, even Sunday morning. I mean, because there was still such a buzz going on around there. Mm-hmm. It really seems that everyone understands that, yes, 2021, yeah, of course, we all want more races, but they understand that this is a very big picture, and a lot of things have to happen. This is a little bit of a test run, and I think people truly do understand that.
I think so too. I really do. And I feel that, and I just I hope that we can hit their expectations, and I hope that the team we have we keep clicking along, because I couldn't do it without them.
Right.
So, Gina, how hard is it to focus back on Houston now? Obviously, you've got another couple of races in Mobile before you get back to H&P. Is it hard to balance both of them, or are you one of those that can work on one at one time and then work on the other at the other time?
I have like really very little organization on which one to work on, because they both go they go together. The next race is May 29th at H&P, and that's our first truck tour race. That's one of 4 that races that has the special points, the $10,000 the $10,000 points fund. So I want to focus on that. I want to make that work, and Houston is a fantastic track. So now I want to try to get some of the Mobile guys, or the Alabama guys, or Florida guys to come see us, like the Texas guys did.
Yeah. I talked to some guys that were like, man, we want to check out Houston, and that's the hardest part. I mean, because that's a barrier there that's always been there, where Florida, Alabama, whatever, Mississippi, they won't come to us. But that's a work in progress. Have to ask you, I was so excited to see, man, the Outlaws at H&P have just, I love them, but man, they have just, I want to wring my own neck every time that I don't see them showing up. When we dropped the green flag the other day, and there's 13 of them, wasn't that just so cool?
It sure was. It really was. And having Greg Davidson in there was kind of the icing on the cake, because it was a good race with more cars than usual, and it was a pleasure to see. I don't know what the classes are, honestly. Growing the field and finding our local classes is what we're doing this year. We know what we want. What we ran there this past weekend is what we want our base, to be our local classes. And we want to plug in, sprint cars. We want to plug in pro late models, legacies. We want to super stocks. We want to figure out how to find the balance of the shows that complements, growing the show. And so it was fantastic to see, a class actually like the Outlaws, like you said, that struggles with car count in Houston, have a better car count.
Yep.
So Gina, let's talk about the upcoming race. Obviously, you've got your feedback now. We've got the stuff rolling for Mobile. When you take a step back and you look at all the stuff that really gets accomplished, it's almost as if people take for granted sometimes that it's just as easy as flipping on the lights, as we talked about with you before. When you look at this next upcoming race coming forward, what's the one thing that you want to concentrate on the most? Is it getting the fans back in the stands, or is it getting the racers back on the racetrack, or is it a little bit of both?
This next race at HMP, it's on a holiday weekend, and so I really would like to focus on presenting a good show, and we're going to be doing some advertising on this one. So I kind of want to, show off Houston again. Houston is a spectacular track, just like Mobile. It doesn't quite have the history or the historical on a national level, but man, it's a beautiful track. I talked to some Mobile racers who came to Houston for the first time, and they were blown away. Just like we know because we see it, all the time. Or that's our track. But really, it's about. I think this race is going to be about the presentation, and seeing what we're going to have visiting us, from other places.
Yeah. And I think that the footprint is there. I mean, because I think folks really get it now, because I heard folks saying, thank you, Houston, and all of that. And I mean, it is so much about the series. I mean, we race at Houston, but I mean, it's a series, to tie it all together. So
right.
I have to ask you about Mobile, because that was one of those things. I think for me, being an older guy and growing up at tracks, I got there, and it just the track took me over, and that's there's I'm sure that's what happened to you, and that's you get there, and it's like it just embraces you. It's crazy, isn't it?
It really is. It's mesmerizing, and it's as crazy and idiotic as it sounds. It just is, and you really look at it and you really think about it, and then the racers talk to you, and it just makes things, makes you really want to risk a lot more, because you can almost visualize how good it'll be, how good it could be.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I tell you, one of my favorite things, and there was many from this weekend, was the messages, of course, just like at HMP, that I get afterwards. And there were two young racers there that were fourth generation racers. Wow. That got to race at a track that they've heard stories about their grandpa racing or their dad or whatever. And they've heard, all the stories, and never got to race there. And they got to race. They got to race there. And that, man, that just, those are some of my favorite, because that is a big deal. That is why I think when things are hard and you're struggling with putting it together, when you make choices that don't work and they cost you a lot of money, when you get those stories and someone actually approaching you or sending you a message or whatever and tell you that, that's what matters.
Yeah, for sure.
Gina, I know that you love racing history. Obviously, when you put together that reunion for Myers Speedway Park a couple of years ago, I guess more than a couple of years ago now, you're a steward of racing history, especially around in Houston. It's got to be cool for you to start learning the backgrounds and a whole another set of racing history now that you've been involved over in their Mobile for the last couple of months.
It is. Well, first of all, again, I'm getting credit for the reunion, and it was a lot of people, and that put it together, and David Starr included, and Carol Lewis, Kent Lewis's daughter. Man, she did more than anything. My mom did it. Annette Hamlin, they really did it, and I just get credit, but I was involved. But still, it is the same thing. Over there, there's a banquet hall on the property. I don't know if you saw it, Rodney. It's the building in the back, the big metal building.
I heard some stories about that place. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wish I would have taken you in there. When you go in there, it's the same thing we have here. It's the same thing that Playland Park or Pan America or Meyer Speedway, all of those CTS, that it's the same thing, and it's a community, and they have the same community there. And that's super important. That is, honestly, I think that is what helps tracks make a good comeback.
Yeah.
And it's the community rallying around what they really love, and that is racing.
I want to go jump. I want to go jump in the ring. I want to go jump in that ring. I was told about the wrestling ring in there. I've always wanted to bounce off the ropes and flip and do all this other stuff. So that would be me. That would be me. I have to ask you. So when the pure stocks come out to start the show, and I'm sitting up there, and like I texted you earlier, I forgot that there weren't people in the stands, and they come out, they're pacing, and then green flag. David throws that green flag. And what are you thinking? Oh my God. I know I went crazy. I think I couldn't feel my fingers and my toes. I was so excited about that first green flag.
Yep. I really got goosebumps and brought tears to my eyes because it was something that, last 6 months ago or whatever was just a thought and a possibility. And many times when we'd get to a point to where it was a big deal or negotiation or whatever, I kept thinking, I would think, man, are we going to make it? Am I crazy? Can we make this happen? And we move to the next phase, and you move to the next phase. And it's kind of surreal because it's happening.
Yeah.
It's by far not done. And it's not like, oh, okay, we're here, but we're moving forward. The ball is rolling.
Right. Right. Exactly. So before we cut you loose, and again, thanks for taking the time. I know it's been just a roller coaster for you guys. Folks were asking about the grandstands, and again, a lot of people knew. Like you said last week, the locals knew. They're like, no, nobody needs to be up there. I had some folks that were messaging me asking if it was COVID related, which obviously this wasn't. The timetable there's work that needs to be done. I went up there, and it's obviously not safe at the moment. So kind of the timetable with that and what we may be thinking, with these next 3 events coming up.
Well, we've purchased bleacher seating, the aluminum seating out of a football stadium in Jackson, Mississippi. So we're replacing the boards, and what we're only going to do the center section, probably looking at maybe 1,000 to 1,500. And then I've got banners I've got to sell to sponsors that cover the rest. They go from the bottom seat up 20 foot, so no one can call. Basically, it's what you see being done in the stadiums right now for COVID. You're blocking off, but these are advertising spots. These are banners that I've got to sell because that's an expensive banner.
Yeah.
It's 20 foot tall, so that's what we're doing. Timeline, we have the bleacher seating. We got to start replacing it. When we put that aluminum, we're pulling that board off, putting the aluminum seat down. We're taking the wooden seats that are good and blocking off that fall through space. That's the problem area. There's bad wood. We could replace wood, although it's outrageously expensive right now. Even if we just did the wood that those stands were built so long ago, that fall through space is way too much.
It's a long way.
Yeah.
It's a long.
A person like me could misstep and fall where you set your feet in the stands and just roll right out.
Yeah. Gina, if I sat up there for a whole racing program drinking Bud Lights all night, I'd fall through. I promise you, I'd fall through because at some point I'd lean back.
I think there's many of us that could say that same thing.
Yeah.
But as a mom who of a racer and a daughter of a racer, whatever, niece. When you watch races, and let's say you had your kids, you stand up and sit down,
right.
and your kids are just very simply, it takes just a second for them to disappear underneath.
Yep.
So just all the stories I've heard about racing, I've heard just as many about their kid fell through, or they fell through the stands when they were little.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally, they'll come up and say, yeah, he fell through the stands when he was, 6 years old. So, and my family, personally, I have 2 cousins that fell through the stands at Meyer Speedway. So, luckily, I haven't heard any tragedies, and I don't want to, but it just is what it is. We're doing everything we can to open some stands. That is for sure. Yeah. But, I love how the pits are. Man, I really was stressed about it, and but the tailgating. Yeah. Did you see?
Big time.
I was a post. Someone brought a love seat and left their love seat.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
They were playing. Beanbag. What's beanbag thing called? They were playing that and tossing the football. I mean, that seriously felt like a snowball derby Thursday or Friday. That was impressive.
Right. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going. We are doing everything we can to make sure some fans can come in, more fans can come in and get back in those stands. I mean, we need the stands. We do.
Yeah.
Racers like to show off for people.
Sure.
And it's really hard to watch the race without being in the stands. That track is big and beautiful, but like at Five Flags, some of the trailers get in the way. So being in the stands is very important.
Cornhole. That's right. Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Cornhole. That's it.
Absolutely.
But Rodney, I can't thank you enough. Bobby, I hope we see you out there. But all the team, man. I was so stressed, and I probably my biggest regret is I didn't thank the team enough for everything that they do. I mean, to come out there, to do things, it weighs on you heavily when you've got people tracking out there to that far to help you build something.
Yeah.
To help you do something. The 4T4 guys, man,
yeah.
Todd Kempkin on, he's the track steward. He lets people on and off the track at H&P. So many people have been doing things. Bo, man, I mean, it's just, it's a lot. And I'm very, very grateful for that help. And I didn't quite show that on race day because I was so stressed and just maxed out. And I hate that I was probably a little more aggressive when I was freaking out over things than I should have been.
All good. There's a lot going on.
Yep.
All right, Gina, one last thing before we cut you loose. What is the details on the next race in Mobile while everybody's coming in listening? I know everybody knew about it on Saturday night and was talking about it then, but why you've got a chance, what's the next set of races coming up in Mobile?
Okay, let's see. Let me pull the schedule because for some reason I have a different date stuck in my head.
I got it.
Mobile.
June 6th.
Yeah.
I kept saying it.
May 29th is HMP. Sorry, it's June 5th, actually.
5th?
June 5th.
Okay.
I did the same thing.
Oh, great.
June 5th at Mobile. That's what, we're focused on. We're going to knock Houston out. We're going to promote the Advanced Auto Parts, the truck tour, those trucks, and we're going to see how that class shakes out. It is a discount. This race is a discounted race. If HMP is your home track, if HMP is your away track, whether you are a truck, an outlaw, or a modified, the discounts that we published, and I'll put them up again, will apply at this race. So if you're going to travel and you want to try it out, come try HMP. This is the race to do it. Because you do get some discounts, if this is your away track. And then vice versa, the HMP guys, when MIS is your away track, your first discount is the June 26th race.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
I'm anxious to see if we can get some people moving. And I understand if you can't, run your local show, but I'm excited about being back at HMP, and I'm hopeful and excited about any of the MIS guys coming because I think they're going to love it. I think they're really going to love Houston.
Yeah. Gina, and we did put our stamp on the Holiday Inn, so
well, that's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. And your man Greg Davidson, by the way, is one of the cardiac kids there that wouldn't let me go to bed. Figures, doesn't it?
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
One bit.
Yeah, good stuff. Congratulations, Gina. That sure was fun. Thank you for the opportunity. I sure love that. That was really cool. Can't wait to get back at it. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All
I
right.
appreciate you.
Take care.
All right. See you later, Gina.
There she is. That lady, I tell you, Energizer Bunny. What a service she did, man. That the Mobile folks were really appreciative, and I kept laughing because so many folks kept coming up and they were like, Miss Gina. I'm like, who the hell's Miss Gina? You mean Gina?